who on the line, Mufi, they may not be aware of what you've been able to do over the past 3 weeks or the past month or so. Can you just enlighten everybody on what you started your account with and what it's at today?
Man, where it's at today? Well, I'm gonna say majority for sure. So before Bob Proctor, so beginning of October, I started a trading account with $150, and then I grew it to 1,900 in like 2 days off of US 30. And then I stopped trading because I was going through some stuff, and then went to Bob Proctor, led Bob Proctor event. God blessed me with two Bitcoin trades, went to $20,000, and then after God blessed me with $20,000 of Bitcoin, I was like, I'm gonna take a break from Bitcoin. Got what I want from it, and then within 2 weeks, I cracked my first six figures. So I would say 2 weeks went from 1,900 to $100,000, and then after that, I read the book called U Squared. U Squared can take you to I don't even know how to say it, but David Aminichi said everything is out. U Square, George McCoy is holding it. That book can literally take you through the freaking roof. Like David Aminichi said, everything is out there. You just gotta claim it and raise your frequency and vibrations to attract it, right? So I was like, damn. So if I'm trying to get in conversation with people in Seattle making 6, 7 figures, I gotta raise my frequency. I read that book, and then my account was 100,000. US 30 gold. They don't slow down for no one. So got it to 400. And then from there, I'm gonna just keep it. I'm not gonna say where it's at right now. Riyadh, apologize, but 70 pips away. If everything goes good, that equity and balance is gonna be at 7 figures, and a whole world is gonna know it. A whole world is gonna know it. Retire rich on the map.
Woo! Man, let's drop some fire in the chat box for that. That's insane. That, my friends, is insane. What he just said was, I took $150, right, to now today, I'm 70 pips away from 7 figures. You just heard from somebody who's only been trading 7 months. Or he's only been in 7 months. I believe that he's like 3 or 4 months removed from high school, meaning that he was sitting in the high school class 3 or 4 months ago, and now he's about to close in on his first 7 figures. But here's what I want you to notice. And here's what so many people lose the battle at. No gratitude. No gratitude. He didn't say anything about I analyzed the charts and found 2 Bitcoin trades. He didn't say I did this. He didn't say I did that. He talked about the information that he got, and he gave thanks to God multiple times. Man, listen, that's going to be the secret. It's going to be in your faith and your gratitude. So, man, let's drop some more fire in the chat box from Mufid, because that deserves to be celebrated. That deserves to be celebrated. Literally. We're talking about 18 years old, $1 million in about a month. Like, understand what we're talking about. We ain't talking about he just made 40,000. And that's no knock to people that made 40,000. That's a lot of money trading. But what we're analyzing here, right, what we're talking about here is him taking $150, the same 150 that's sitting in your bank account right now, or at least should be. He's taken that to now 70 pips away from 7 figures. Man, I'm just so excited. I am so freaking excited for that, man. And so with that being said, man, that kind of just allows me to peruse right into the conversation tonight over the next, I guess, 45 minutes. And here's what I want you guys to understand. I was talking to the leaders, I think last week we did a locker room call, and I was basically telling them that 2019 isn't over yet. See, a lot of people are under the impression that 2019 is over. And so what they're beginning to do is focus on what they can accomplish in 2020, not understanding that it's still 36 days left in the year. Here's the first nugget I want you to write down. God can do more for you in the next 36 days than you've done for yourself all year. Mufid just proved it. He literally just proved it. God can do more for you in the next 36 days than you've done for yourself all year. For the second time, Mufid just proved it. Because about 3 to 4 weeks ago, Mufid's trading account was $150. Fast forward to today, he's close to 7 figures. And what did he do? He said, God did it. Thank you, God. So understand that. Don't look at the amount of days left and say, man, my vision that I wrote down at the end of 2018, my vision that I wrote down throughout 2019, it hasn't come to pass yet. That doesn't mean give up on it. What that means, if it hasn't come to pass yet, is that it's on the way. It's literally on the way. If I were to order a pair of shoes right now and press process and press send, right? Once the order has been received, once the order has been processed, and the shoes go out to delivery, no matter what amount of days go by, as long as I check and see that it says out for delivery, that means the shoes are on the way. Here's the difference. What that takes is belief, because I got to see the tracking information. I got to see the tracking number. I got to go to USPS or FedEx.com and type in the tracking number. Well, your vision does not have a tracking number. You have to believe in the vision until. You have to faith it until it's created. You got to keep doing it over and over and over and over, with the thought in mind that once you write something down, it's done. Once you write it down and feel it in your heart, it's done. Once you write it down and you can feel it in your heart, it has no choice but to manifest on earth. It's done. God doesn't revolve around time. He transcends time. He's immutable. He's infinite, meaning he does not end. You understand what I'm saying? So don't put your vision on a deadline. Don't say, oh, it didn't happen by December 31st, so that doesn't mean, that means it's not going to happen. Understand that it's still on the way. And at this moment, as you're waiting, the only thing that you can use, the only thing that you can utilize is patience. That's the only payment that you can give for this promise that you've been waiting for. That's the only thing, is patience. And patience is not just about waiting. It's about the attitude while you're waiting. It's about knowing that the person that you put your belief in, he's going to give you the promise. See, belief in the invisible will always produce the incredible. Belief in the invisible will always produce the incredible. See, your vision right now is invisible, but your belief in it will produce the incredible. God, you can't see him. He's invisible, but your belief in him will produce the incredible. But see, a lot of people can't believe day to day. They can't believe week to week. They can't believe month to month. They can't believe at this present time here because it's November 25th and the year only has 36 days left. So they say, you know what? I'm going to hang it up for this year, and man, I'll be back 2020. I'm going to just coast through the rest of the year. I won't show the plan. I'm going to just save all my energy for 2020 so I can start 2020 strong. See, most people are focused on starting strong when the leaders are focusing on finishing strong. See, listen to me. Most people are thinking about starting strong, which is nothing wrong with you. Definitely want to start strong. But the key to starting strong, the prerequisite to starting strong is by finishing strong. See, a lot of people, what they're going to do is coast through Thanksgiving, coast through Christmas. They're not going to spend as much time on the charts. They're going to make up some type of excuse and say, you know what, it's the holidays, the banks, I ain't going to trade around the holidays, but it's the 15th. I ain't gonna look at the charts on the 15th because Christmas is so close. You understand what I'm saying? I won't spend time with Christopher Derrick right now. I'll get back to that in 2020. And see, what they're doing is, what they're gonna cause themselves to do is limp into 2020 when they should be running into 2020. That's the only way you start the year strong, based on what you were doing when you ended 2019. A prerequisite for a great start is always a great ending. The prerequisite to a great start is always a great ending. So you got to be focused on finishing out the year strong, working your face off. And here's what I want you to do over the next 36 days. What I want you to do, well, I ain't gonna say what I want you to do. This is what I'm doing. I don't care if you do it or not, but this is what I'm going to do. And I just hope that you follow suit and listen to me. But what I plan on doing, all right, I plan on writing down what my goals are over the next 36 days, because I need a target that I can go out there and make something shape with. I need something I can tangibly see written down that I can do over the next 36 days, so I can make sure that I start the year with momentum, personal momentum, because personal momentum always precedes group momentum. It's not about what your organization does. It's not about what everybody else is doing. It's about what you're doing. The speed of the leader is always the speed of the pack. You create the momentum. You start the momentum. You get the pendulum going with your activity level. So everybody that's looking to move into what I believe 2020 is going to be harvest season. I believe 2020 is going to be harvest season, the year of the harvest. What you sowed in 2019, I believe that you're going to reap it in 2020, but only if you believe. Because here's the deal: as long as the earth remains, it's going to be 2 times. It's going to be seed time. It's going to be harvest time. As long as the earth is here, it's going to be seed time and harvest time. And I believe what we've been doing in 2019, we're sowing seeds. I believe a lot of us sow seeds that we're going to reap in 2020. Right now, the question lies is, what seeds did you sow in 2019? Because if you don't reap anything in 2020, that goes back to your activity level in 2019. So if your trading hasn't advanced in 2020, what you got to look at is say, man, what was I doing in 2019? How much time did I spend watching IML TV? How much time did I spend, going to different training sessions and learning from people who have the results that I want? How much time did I spend marking up charts? How much time did I spend failing? Somebody called me the other day. Well, I don't know if I was with them or they called me, and I was with this person, and they did an event and nobody came to the event. I told them, congratulations, you just failed. Now keep doing that over and over again, because your success is going to be based on how many times you can fail and get over it and keep moving. So if you can keep failing successfully, you got to keep failing successfully, and at some point you will become a success. But see, a lot of people, they fail miserably, meaning they fail and they never get back up. They fail and never start over. They fail and they fall and stay on the ground. You understand what I'm saying? So you got to be able to fail successfully. You got to be able to fail with a pure, clean heart, knowing that, man, I know that this is going to happen because this vision is deep in my heart. And I know if it's in my heart, it has to manifest itself on earth. That's how you have to fail. You have to fail with the vision right in front of you every single day. Knowing I failed today, it doesn't matter, because I'm not looking at the sight right now. I'm looking at my faith, because my eyes will lie to me. My faith will always tell me the truth. So even though I failed and nobody showed up to my event, even though I failed and I blew my trading account, that doesn't matter. That doesn't compare to what tomorrow looks like, because Mufid just proved it. I don't need to hear nothing from nobody about trading and they can't get and they can't understand. It goes back to your study of the skill, right? And your faith and gratitude. That's what trading boils down to. Your study of the skill, your faith and gratitude. What does the business come down to? Your study of the skills, prospecting, presenting, and promoting, and your faith and gratitude. That is it. Obviously, you have to work. That goes without saying. We always talk about the work. Show the plan 4 to 6 times a week. Get other people to do that. Host events, go to events. Get submerged, immersed in personal self-development. But the key is going to be your study of the skill and your faith and your gratitude. Faith to believe that it's going to happen even though you can't see it, and gratitude to know that I'm thankful for and it's already done. But a lot of people, they don't know what that stuff really means, because they're not consistently learning about it. They're not consistently diving into the topics. See, it will be very, very tragic for you to get on a call on Monday and don't go research anything that's said. Just as equivalent, it will be very tragic of you to go to a Bob Proctor event, go there, and never look at the notes again, never listen to Bob Proctor again. It will be tragic of you to go to church on Sunday, hear what somebody's saying, receive it, but you don't go study it for yourself. So it's very tragic to not study the information that you're receiving. Because I've been able to study the information that I've heard and experienced and learned from multiple people, that's how I'm able to regurgitate it back to you guys. And it makes sense. So the same thing goes with everything that we do, guys. We have to study. We have to study to show ourselves the proof of the skill set of trading, building a business, whatever the case may be. And then we gotta add our faith and our gratitude to that, and we can watch it happen because we just heard from somebody who's 18 years old who did it. So now I know that it can be done by anybody. And Gio, this is the crazy part about it. It didn't take him a year. It didn't take 2 years. It didn't take 3 years. It took him 7 months. Now, does that mean it should take you 7 months? Nope. Does that mean you should compare yourself to him? Nope. Does that mean you should compare yourself to Gio? Does that mean you should compare yourself to Martez, my wife, or JVL because they hit chairman at pretty good times? No, not at all. But what that should do for you is say, hey, I've just been exposed to a portfolio of work, to God's portfolio of work. Meaning, if he can do that for them, he can do that for me. So that means I'm willing to undergo the rigorous process to get purified, to get myself to a place where I can be the next success story. And I don't have to watch everybody else be success stories. That's what it boils down to, family. You should get so excited when you see somebody else have success because your portfolio, your vision should be expanding day by day by day. That's what exposure does for you. And the right exposure will always ruin your excuses. See, I've been exposed to so much stuff, I can't make any excuses anymore. I just got exposed to my mentor giving away $500,000 at his own event. I can't succumb to excuses anymore. I just saw a young man's check for $122,000 in a week. I can't succumb to my excuses anymore. The right exposure will always ruin excuses. But if you're not around the family, if you're not around the camp, if you're not at the events, if you're not in the right environment, guess what? You will never get exposed. You will never see what's possible for you. That's why it's important that every time a call like this is happening, you got to get on because it's somebody's tonight, first call. You had no idea that it was an 18-year-old kid that's about to become a millionaire in the next 24 to 48 hours. You got to stay tapped into the family. You got to stay plugged in. You got to stay connected to what it is that we're doing here because here's the deal. What we're doing is creating something that's going to be here for a very, very long time. The legacy that we're going to be able to leave is going to be ridiculous. I don't know what you guys are here for, but me, I understand that this is a platform to create a ridiculous amount of wealth. But not only is it a platform to create a ridiculous amount of wealth, it's also a platform to show people how to believe and have faith. And that's what I get the kick out of it the most. And that's why I like hearing success stories like Mr. Mufid, who's 18 years old, JVL, 19 years old, traveling the world, about to blow this business out of the water. That's what it's about. Where else can you go and see stuff like that? So it'll be very weird of you to not be here in 90 days. It'll be very weird of you to not be here in 6 months. It'll be very weird of you to not be here in the next 12 to 18 months. It'll be very, very weird of you to not be here with all this success happening. Because if you leave, what are you going back to? Like, what are you going back to? Nothing. If you break nothing down, you will get no thing. You're going back to no thing at all. So keep the vision in front of you. Understand that this is something that's going to expose you to your character, expose you to who you truly are over the course of the process, right? And by the way, none of that was my topic for tonight. None of it. That was just some stuff that just came to me. Let me get into my topic for tonight as I'm looking at this time dwindle down. So here's the deal, family. It's going to be two things that I believe are going to be very critical to our success closing 2019 out, but specifically going into 2020. And I believe that the first thing is it has to do with you being a visioneer, right? You want to write that word down, visioneer. I learned this word from Bob Proctor. Right? I learned this word from Bob Proctor last year, visioneer. And basically, an engineer is somebody that who designs, maintains, or builds machines. That's what an engineer is. An engineer is somebody that designs, builds, or maintains some type of machinery. That's the engineer. Well, a visioneer is one who designs, builds, and maintains the vision, the picture that's been created, right? So if you're a visioneer, right, when you're focused on visioneering, what you want to be focused on is creating a picture, a clear picture of what you want your 2020 to look like, what you want the next 36 days of your year to look like. I want you to really think about that, because you have to get to a point where you can create that clear picture in your mind, right? You have to. And here's why you have to, because it would be very, very weird of you not to do that. Here's why. God gave us higher faculties, right? He gave us perception. He gave us reason. He gave us intuition. He gave us memory. He gave us willpower. And he also gave us imagination. These are the higher faculties that God has given us. You can't see these faculties, so you can't create them. They cannot be created. They cannot be destroyed. They're God's gift to you. Perception. That means you're able to change the way that you see things, but most people never change the way that they see things, so the things that they see never change. They continue to get the same circumstance over and over and over because they never change the way that they look at things. But if you change the way that you look at things, the things that you look at will always change. Then we have reason. Reason is just you being able to think with your conscious mind. Memory, we all know what memory is, you being able to retain information. And then we have intuition. This is that hunch you feel. This is, man, I just felt like I should do this. I just felt like I should do that. Right? That is the intuition. That's God's moving inside you to give you that hunch, to give you that intuition. And then you have willpower. This is you being able to have something, in this case, your vision, your picture, you having that and having the willpower to hold on to it every single day. And then we have imagination. Imagination, obviously, family, is you being able to paint a picture, paint a vision of what you want something to look like, period. But here's what we understand. Most people suffer more in their imagination than they do in reality. Most people suffer more in imagination than they do in reality. What do I mean by that? See, most people create what they don't want in their mind. They create the circumstance that they don't want. They create the financial situation that they don't want. And because they create it here, they feel it here. They feel it in their body. And it never happens in reality a lot of time, because all worry is a down payment on a problem that you might never have. But where is worry created? In your imagination, in your mind. See, the mind is the most powerful tool that we've been given. It's the most precious tool that we've been given. But see, most people don't value the mind and also which it can be used for, because they never paid anything for it. See, most people value the iPhone more than they value their own mind, because they spent money for the iPhone, but they don't value the thing that created the iPhone, which is the mind. See, your mind gives you the ability to reason. Your mind gives you the ability to have intuition. Your mind gives you the ability to think regardless of circumstance. See, most people cannot think regardless of circumstance, but your mind gives you the ability to do that. But you got to understand the power that lies within it, family. And he also gave us this imagination as a creative tool, family, and it allows you to paint the picture that you want in your life. So that's what you got to do in 2020. That's what you got to do in the next 36 days of 2019. You have to be able to utilize your mind, utilize this gift that you've been given, understand the importance of it, and utilize it to create the vision that you want. Because here's the deal: you are a visioneer. You have the ability to create, maintain, and design your picture. You have to be able to picture your success. You don't get what you want in life, you get what you picture. A picture becomes an expectation. Wants show up in conversation, but expectation shows up in behavior. Wants show up in conversation, expectation shows up in behavior. When I have a picture, I have an expectation because my picture is clear. You only get a picture by thinking something. You only get a picture by inking something. But every time you think, if you look at the word think, ink sits right there in the middle. So the more you think about your future, the more you think about your success, the more you think about the vision, guess what? It gets inked on the canvas of your imagination. And because it's inked on the canvas of your imagination, that's what God wants to bring in your reality. That's what he wants to bring in your reality. But you got to keep thinking about it, family. You got to keep thinking about that thing over and over and over. I told you guys before, if you master the mundane, you will make millions. Well, thinking about a vision is mundane. Writing something down over and over and over is mundane. But the people that can do that, the people like a David Imonitie, the people like Bob Proctor, guys, the people that are making the big bucks, this is what they've been able to do. They prove that it works. I guarantee you somewhere around Mufi's home or his wallet or his car, he has a vision written down of becoming a chairman. He has a vision written down of becoming a seven-figure trader. I guarantee he has the vision written down. I guarantee you that. Guarantee you. And here's what I want you guys to understand. Your picture, what it does, family, it ignites a feeling, right? Your picture creates some type of feeling, and that feeling is what drives you into activity mode. So if you don't have a picture, if you don't have an image, then you won't have a feeling. And if you don't have a feeling, you won't move into action. See, a reason why a lot of people are not moving the way they want to right now is because they have these disgusting words come out of their mouth. I don't feel like it. But see, the only reason you don't feel like it is because you haven't been picturing it over and over and over. Because what you picture has no choice but to manifest itself in its polar opposite. I need you to follow me right now. What you picture has no choice but to manifest itself in its polar opposite. It has to come to pass. What you picture has no choice but to manifest itself in its polar opposite. The vision that's in your mind, the picture that's in your mind, what you write down on paper, it has to come to pass. Spirit always manifests itself in its polar opposites. Somebody type that in the chat box. I need somebody to read it. Spirit will always manifest itself in its polar opposite. Well, I can't see my vision in my mind. That means it must be spirit. When I speak words out of my mouth, I can't see the words that are coming out of my mouth. So that means it must be spirit. Well, when I write something down, what I do, I take something that's in the spirit world and I bring it to the physical world and I put it on paper. I make it physical, but I got something better for you. I got something better for you. Let me go to truth, right? Let me go to truth and let me open up John 1:1 because I need you to really, really get it, because if you get this, it will make complete sense for you. And it will allow you to understand that spirit has no choice but to manifest itself in its polar opposite. In the beginning, before all time, was the Word. And the Word was with God. And the Word was God. What that means is, for the person that's never read this text, that means in the beginning was Jesus. And the Word was with Jesus. The Word was Jesus. And the Word was God himself. That means the Word was Jesus. Well, if you peruse on down the chapter, so I believe verse 14, let's see. Verse 14, John 1 and 14. And the word became flesh. The word became physical. The word became human. In the beginning was the word. We just said that everything that's spirit has to manifest itself in its polar opposite. The opposite of spirit is physical. In the beginning was the word, Jesus. Verse 14, and the word, Jesus, became flesh and lived among us, and we saw his glory. So what that means is, family, your vision, spirit, your words, spirit, what's on the canvas of your imagination, spirit, that means it has to come to pass. And you don't know when it's going to come to pass. That's the thing. You don't know when it's going to come to pass. Nobody in the beginning, in the Old Testament, if you will, knew when the word was going to become flesh. They just knew that it would. They just knew that it would. So you don't know when your vision will become flesh. You don't know when your vision will become physical. You just have to know that it will. Because it wouldn't be faith for me to do it with 100% true knowing when it's going to come. You just have to know that it will. But even if it don't, that's when faith really kicks in. But even if that vision that I wrote down don't come to pass, I know that means it must be something else that he's bringing to me. That's what faith really is, family. That's what it really is. I wrote this vision down. I wrote down, Chairman. I wrote down, Master Trader, for this date. But even if it don't come to pass, I know that it will. And even if it never comes to pass, that means he has something else for me that was better than what I thought I was trying to get. That's what faith really means, family. So moving over these next 36 days into the new year, you got to have that picture, because you don't get what you want, family. You get what you picture. Why don't you get what you want? Because we could want so much. We could want a Ferrari. We could want a BMW. We could want the Bentley. We could want the Lamborghini. But all of that won't come to us. It's going to be what we set our intention on day by day. Because if you got what you wanted already, you would have it. If you got what you wanted, you would already have it. You got to picture it over and over and over and over and over and over and over. Just how an engineer designs, builds, and maintains over and over and over and over and over. See, when an engineer is constructing something, he doesn't say, oh man, I got this blueprint for it, but it's just not, it ain't happening at the time that I want. No, he keeps doing it over and over and over and over. You have to be the same way, family. You have to be the same way. You got to keep cracking at the vision over and over and over and over, knowing by faith that what you have in your mind, which is spirit, it has to manifest itself in its polar opposite in one way or another. And here's a secret part to that. You bless it before it's manifested. You bless it before it's manifested. You want to write that down. Trust me, you want to write that down. You bless it before you manifest it. What that means is you become extremely, extremely grateful for it before it happens. You bless the 7 to 10 platinum 1000s before they come into your organization. You bless the charts before you get on the charts. That's gratitude. You bless the event before you do the event. That's gratitude. You bless everything before everything begins to manifest into your life. That's when you really know you're expecting it to happen. Because remember, what you want, it shows up in conversation. We can be at the bar talking, and what I want will show up in that conversation at the bar. What I want can show up in that conversation as I'm walking through the mall. What I want could show up on my social media as I'm just posting, just like everybody else in the world. But what I expect shows up in my behavior. What I expect shows up in my activity. What I expect shows up in my action. See, if you expect something, you will move a whole lot different. Like the words that come out of your mouth will be a whole lot different. My son Adam, he expects me to take him out of the country this year, right, in 2020. So every time we have a conversation, he's talking about that in expectation of it. Daddy, do I need a passport? How do I get my passport? He's expecting it. It's showing up in his behavior. How do I get that? What do I need to do? So your wants will show up in your conversation, but your expectation shows up in your action, your behaviors. That's why you got to create the picture, family, because the picture ignites your feelings. Your feelings are what move you into action. Your action is what yields you the results that you want to see in your life. So if you're not getting the results that you want, go back and check your picture. Go back and check your belief system. Go back and check your faith level, because activity always follows a picture. Activity always follows belief. Activity always follows faith. Always. Right? And then the second thing, over these next 7 minutes I got with you guys, the second thing, this is the most critical thing, family. This is the most critical thing. I got a question for you. What are you willing to give up to get what it is that you picture? What are you willing to give up to get what you picture? Because we can have a picture. Everybody got a picture. Everybody can create a picture. But are you willing to give something up to get the picture? Because here's the deep part that God gave me as I was preparing. He told me to tell you guys. Well, he told me, right? And now I'm telling y'all. He said, your picture has a price tag. And the price tag is based on the value of the picture. Your picture has a price tag. And the price tag is based on the value of the picture. I'm going to say it one more time. Your picture has a price tag. And the price tag is based on the value of the picture. Now I'm going to say it one more time, Willie Charles, because I don't think they caught it. Your picture has a price tag. And the price tag is based on the value of the picture. God had a picture. God had a picture. What was the price tag that God had to pay for his picture? Whew, this is about to get good. What was the price tag God had to pay for his picture? He had to give his only begotten son for his picture. His only son. He didn't have two to choose from. He had to give his only son for his picture. So what in the world would make you think that you ain't got to give up nothing for your picture? And see, his picture was so high value that what he had to give up was so high value. He ain't just give up any old thing because he ain't have any old picture. He had to give up his only son for his picture of what we have today. So knowing that there's going to be something that you have to give up to get what you want, to give up to get what you picture, right? And see, a lot of people, they want to go to the next level, holding on to stuff that was with them at the first level, at level 1, at level 2. Some of you, it's your family. Some of you, it's your friends. Some of you, it's your habits. Some of you, it's things that I wouldn't even say on this call in front of all these fellow entrepreneurs, right? But there's going to be something you have to give up that only you know to help you go to the next level. And the thing that you don't want to give up is the thing you're thinking about right now. The thing that you don't want to give up is the thing that you're thinking about right now. Dang, do I really want to give this up? Yeah, that's what you're supposed to give up. Whatever that may be. Whatever it may be, right? And a lot of times it's not even forever. Sometimes you just got to give it up momentarily so that you can see, so that God can see where your heart is at. Do I really want to get this up to get what I want? Do I really want to get this up to get what I picture? Do I really want to stop hanging out with them to get what I picture? Well, what's more important to you? The picture that God gave you, or the friends, or the thing that you were led to? Just because you were led there, don't mean you got to stay there. Just because you were led there to those friends, just because you were led to that habit, just because you were led to comparison, just because you were led to smoking weed, just because you were led to alcohol, just because you were led to clubbing, just because you were led there, doesn't mean you always have to stay there. Because remember, the level in which you have to give things up is going to be based on the value of your picture. So if you've created a picture that will lead to massive wealth for you and your family, if you've created a picture that will lead to abundance, prosperity, if you've created a picture that leads to you giving and showing gratitude and love and all across everybody, right? You've created a picture that not only will you be blessed, but the people that are around you will be blessed. How much better would your network be if you got your goals done? How much better would your network be? How much better would the world be if God blessed you? And if he blessed you, would you have the heart to say, thank you, God, for blessing me? And really believing that in your heart, just like Mufid did. That's why I'm 100% sure that Mufid will keep getting blessed over and over and over and over and over, because he understands gratitude, right? So there's going to be something that you have to give up, family, to get what it is that you picture. And a lot of people don't want to give it up. And whatever consumes you controls you. Whatever you consume by controls you. And if what you're consumed by controls you, do I want to go there? I want to go there. If whatever you're consumed by is controlling you, that means God is not controlling you. If whatever you're consumed by is controlling you, that means God is not controlling you, because you're controlled by something else. It could be money. It could be, overexertion to prove yourself to your family or friends or whatever the case may be. There's going to be something that you have to give up, family, to get what it is that you picture. And I highly suggest that if you were somebody who had a thought of, should I give that up? You should give it up. You should give it up. And I challenge you to do it. It could be a habit. It could be an emotion. It could be whatever. But you have to give it up to get what you picture, because you have to sacrifice something to get it. Because if you don't, your picture will become the sacrifice. If you don't sacrifice for your picture will be the sacrifice. God had a picture and he sacrificed for his only son. He ain't have no other son. I'm going to sacrifice my son who was with me in the beginning, because it said in the beginning, the word was with God. So he was always there. He ain't just magically think of somebody to sacrifice. No, he sacrificed the person who was with him from the jump. Can you sacrifice somebody who's been with you from the jump? Can you do that? Is your picture that valuable? And remember, sometimes it's not all the time. Sometimes it's a season of separation just to see where your heart is at. You got to disconnect, family. You got to disconnect from what consumes you and connect to the person that wants to consume you in his love. That's what you got to do. You got to disconnect from the things that consume you and connect to the person that wants to consume you with his love. And when you do that, I guarantee you that your picture will become clearer and clearer and clearer and clearer and clearer. It's going to get closer and closer and closer and closer. And the next thing you know, chairman, done. Trading account on fleek. Bank account, hefty. Relationships, OD. But it's going to be due to you sacrifice. Because when you sacrifice something, you don't just sacrifice it. You don't just sacrifice something and you just cool. No, you sacrifice it and you replace it with something else. You sacrifice it and replace it with something else. Whew. Another Monday. I love you too. Another Monday. Another Monday. Man, I pray everybody got value tonight. And I'm excited for everybody's future. And I just know that, man, because of the things that we endure, because of our faithfulness, because of the vision, because of clarity of the vision, and knowing that all visions have to be tested for authenticity. Every vision has to be tested for authenticity. See, even when the word became spirit, even when the word became flesh, flesh was tested over and over and over. Flesh was even killed. So the vision is going to be tested for authenticity. And my question for you, will you allow your vision to be battle tested and come out with the W, come out with the win, knowing that the battle was already won? With that being said, I love you all, and I will see you at the bank. Good night. God bless you, your family, and your dreams.